Hi people, Moin away from Victor again as always, and as usual. This is going to be a quick video, as you can tell based on the top left corner, about Argentina. If you, at the end screen, you'll see two videos. One is a general video about Argentina, which you're welcome to watch, of course, just like the other one. The other one specifically is a video I did on Argentina, and it's a cult alignment, in which I explain that Argentina is a solar empire. It has, within a certain context, within the given context, it has a strong solar affinity, and it embodies the general properties of the sun and its corresponding ruling zodiac sign Leo, or the zodiac sign it subjectively rules over, or just plain rules over. In any case, this is going to be the geolocation chart of Argentina. I had this chart from back in March, like almost well over half a year ago, or a little over half a year ago, and we're simply going to treat it now. Now, the first thing is the moon in Sagittarius, which is conjunct the ascendant, which is also in Sagittarius, which simply stands for the fact that Argentina, generally speaking, compared to the average country, is of a considerate size, as well as the fact that Argentina has a good deal of water at its disposal. When you look at Argentina on a map, you can obviously see that both of those are true, as well as the fact that a good deal of countries are built alongside the ocean, I want to say, and or a large body of water. I mean, a good deal of cities, okay, are built alongside the coastline. So the moon in Sagittarius, conjunct the ascendant, simply stands for making use of water, okay, at a civilizational level or at a habitual level, and it also stands for an above average size of landmass, again, which is all correct, and also variety in terms of landmass, climate-wise, and whatnot. Now, second house, Pluto is there in Capricorn, which stands for the fact that, generally speaking, Argentina has a strong economy, and or the potential for a strong economy is present, and it's also conjunct the third house, which is ruled by Aquarius, but it's off. The conjunction goes all the way up to 8 degrees, and it's a little past 8 degrees, like under 9 degrees, essentially 8 degrees in a couple of minutes or something like that. Now, what that means is that Argentina's potential for a strong economy, for having had, and or again, might having to have again in the future, a strong economy will automatically trigger better infrastructure that will optimize life for the masses. That's why the third house is ruled by Aquarius. But Pluto is opposed Lilith, and Lilith is the black moon, is in Leo, conjunct the ninth house, which is also ruled by Leo, and it's a perfect conjunction, separated only by minutes, 26 minutes to be precise. Now, what this opposition means is that there is a lack of consistency and stability at an economic level for Argentina. I repeat, there is a lack of consistency and stability at an economic level for Argentina. That's the whole problem, unfortunately. So Argentina's economy is like waxing and waning. It waxes and wanes in general. Now, you've got Saturn in Pisces, 0 degrees in Pisces in the third house, and it's almost conjunct. It's almost conjunct the fourth house. It is conjunct, but it's a weak conjunction, also off by minutes. Now, Saturn in Pisces in the third house simply stands for the fact that the men, generally speaking, work in as well as make use of infrastructure. But there are hardships that accompany this. They essentially have to deal with inconsistencies in the aforementioned infrastructure, and it essentially just it bums them out. It causes stress, a good deal of stress. Now, the fourth house, we've got Mercury, the part of fortune, the Sun, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in the house that Cancer rules over. Mercury in Pisces is one of the weakest signs Mercury can be in. And this simply stands for the fact that within the household, family members, generally speaking, undergo a lot of stress due to the difficulties of society and of their nation as a whole. Neptune and the Sun and the part of fortune stands for the fact that, generally speaking, Argentina has a well-developed infrastructural system. Generally speaking, well-developed agricultural, I repeat, agricultural system. And there's not a lot else that can be said about that. What is notable is that the Earth is across, and the Earth is in Virgo in the 10th house, that generally speaking deals with the government and all government-like authorities. What this generally speaking stands for is the fact that Argentina has difficulty having or installing or obtaining, whatever you want to call it, a properly functioning government, a government that functions optimally. And that's also why you've got Ceres in Libra, the asteroid Ceres in Libra going retrograde. And Libra stands for, the fact that it's in Libra going retrograde stands for instability at a day-to-day or on a day-to-day basis. And let me see, it's also almost conjunct. It is conjunct, but weak conjunction. So yeah, Argentina's government in general throughout its history, I mean, when you look at everything in a general sense, its government has a strong tendency to be inefficient, essentially, and unstable, marred and crippled by corruption and mismanagement, which triggers all of the aforementioned negativities regarding Argentinian households and vice versa. Now, the 5th house, you've got Jupiter there conjunct the 5th house cusp in 14 degrees in Aries. You've got Venus as well in its weakest position in Aries as well in the 5th house. And you've got Chiron as well, perfectly conjunct Jupiter, separated only by 20 minutes. Now, Jupiter and Chiron simply stands for the fact that there is a great interest and a lot of energy is invested in all things of an entertainment-based nature, including sports. And anyone that knows Argentina knows that Argentina is a big fan of sports overall, sporting events, and it's one of the things that Argentina is known for, especially their national football team, which I love so much, obviously, as an Argentine fan. An Argentine fan since I pretty much was born, more or less. Venus being at its weakest there stands for the fact that unfortunately it's inconsistent. Okay, there is a lot of turbulence. It's inconsistent, which does not prompt gracefulness in terms of having an interest in this. Argentinian fans have a tendency to be rowdy and aggressive and fanatical about supporting their national football teams and in the overall entertainment industry. Honestly, there is also a chance of, for example, criminal behavior or borderline criminal behavior rearing its head, like scams and pickpockets and whatnot. Now, Thingy there says the same thing. In terms of the last sentence that I uttered, Juno in 1 degree in Taurus says the same thing. It says that there is a tendency for superficial crime or similar, anywhere between superficial and intermediary levels of crime, petty theft and whatnot, due to financial struggles. The North Node is 4 degrees in Taurus, stationary, opposing the South Node, which is 4 degrees in Scorpio, stationary. And both of them say the same thing. The South Node says that the population is already focused enough on making money and they should focus more on being more stable and tackling petty theft and minor crimes, minor to intermediary crimes, due to a lack of financial resources, just due to plain poverty. They should adjust their behavior when it comes to the entertainment sector or overall tourism and whatnot. But both are going stationary, which stands for the fact that they're fixed in place and that it's highly unlikely that things will ever change. Next up, we've got Uranus, which is 15 degrees in Taurus, conjunct the 6th house, which stands for, generally speaking, the labor market in Argentina, which is not doing too great because Uranus already isn't doing well in Taurus, and then it's also conjunct the 6th house, which is also ruled by Taurus. It simply stands for the fact that work is, generally speaking, working conditions and circumstances, as well as work overall. In short, the labor market as a whole in Argentina has a tendency to be unstable, especially at a financial level, and lack any kind of real-time progress in terms of making or building a career as well as maintaining it. There are minor misfortunes. Now, regarding work, we've got Mars in the 7th house in Gemini, 24 degrees in Gemini respectively, which simply stands for the fact that friendships and overall relationships that people have with each other, whether it be a marriage, friendship, a business relationship, it is driven primarily by communication. But sometimes there is a lack of motivation. That's why Mars is weak in Gemini. We've got Pallas, which is 13 degrees in Cancer, conjunct the 8th house, which stands for the fact that, again, Argentina has great agricultural potential. That's what Pallas stands for. Essentially, produce that can be or is exported. Um, Let me see, what else can I say? Uh, No, and that's essentially it. Honestly, that's it. There is nothing left to say. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye. That was Argentina in a nutshell.